Once again, the Mets find an incredibly embarrassing way to lose. This is now 10 of their last 11, and tonight was a really strange one. It was a whole new way to lose. You had Montas pitch, go 5 innings, where we thought Frankie Montas was going to get shelled today. If any Met fan told you that Frankie Montas was going to give you 5 scoreless innings today, they were lying. And that's exactly what he did. He gave you 5 scoreless innings, looked really good. He had some control issues, gave up a couple walks. He wasn't perfect, but he didn't give up a run for 5 innings. And he was good because as soon as he came out of the game, the bullpen just completely shit down their leg and gives up 5 runs in an inning. They used 3 pitchers in the 6th. Brazoban comes in and walks the bases loaded without getting an out. Castillo comes in, hits a batter. He ends up with 1 out. And then Garrett just throws a meatball on a 1-2 pitch to Olsen to give the Braves the lead. And it's just every single day they lose in an embarrassing fashion. I don't know what's going to turn this around. It doesn't look fixable right now because the bullpen is just trash at this point. And anyone who puts this loss on Mendoza, I'm already seeing on X that Mendoza is the problem here and whatever. He doesn't know how to use a bullpen. While sometimes I do agree his bullpen decisions aren't great, what did you expect him to do tonight? He has Montas go 5 innings. It's his first start of the year. He gives you 80 pitches over 5 innings, and he wasn't going to go back out there for the 6th. And then you bring in Brazoban, who has not been good lately, but has been one of your better relievers this year. He probably wanted him to go more than 1 inning tonight, and he didn't even give him an out. And then Castillo, maybe that's a questionable call there to bring in Castillo with runners on base. Castillo's just not very good. And then you go to Garrett, who is supposed to be one of your best relievers, and he just hasn't gotten the job done lately. What could he really have done differently there? It's not his fault that these guys are not performing. Did he expect Brazoban to come in and walk the bases loaded to start the inning? Or that Castillo was going to hit Michael Harris Jr., who's been one of the worst hitters in baseball this year? You have to think about it a little bit here. Nobody's performing. If nobody's performing, what's he supposed to do? He has to go with what he has, and what he has right now is just trash. There's nobody in the bullpen that you feel confident in. Do you want Diaz pitching in the 6th inning? I don't understand what you want him to do. There's nobody performing. And it's not only on the pitching, because the offense did not get a hit between the 4th and the 9th inning. They didn't get a hit. They had 2 hits going into the 9th. And then they put together some half-ass rally in the 9th and get 3 hits, end up with 5 hits for the game. Okay, big deal. You had 5 hits in the game. And you scored 4 runs. Strider wasn't all that great tonight. They didn't beat up on him. They should have gotten more off of him. The Braves' bullpen is bad. They should have scored on the Braves' bullpen. But every single night, this offense just goes to sleep. They had 1 inning. They scored 3 of their 4 runs tonight in the 3rd inning. In the 4th inning. It's ridiculous at this point. It's a completely just not a fun experience to watch a Met game right now. And that's a problem because they're not getting any better. Right? You saw today that there was news. Minaya had a little bit of a setback. Who knows what's going to happen with that? This is starting to have DeGrom vibes where, he's pitching, he's throwing, he's getting into rehab starts, and then he has a setback and he's shut down. And this is having those kind of vibes. I don't know if we're getting Minaya back this year. Every time he's close, something happens, and it pushes him back. I don't remember a time of watching the Mets be this bad when they're supposed to be good. Now, we've all seen seasons where they're terrible, and we know they're going to be terrible, but this is a team that a couple weeks ago was tied for the best record in baseball, and now they've lost 10 out of their last 11. So at this point, it's inconceivable what's happened to this team. I'm not going to be negative and say that the season's over and whatever, but where's it getting better? Is there any offense on the horizon? Jesse Winker? Is Jesse Winker going to be the savior of the season? Manaea, who knows when he's coming back? Senga, even if he comes back, is he just going to break again? Like, we don't have a bullpen. There's nobody in this bullpen other than Edwin Diaz that you trust even a little bit. And that's just the truth. We're either going to have to do, David Stearns has his work cut out for him in the All-Star, or in the trade deadline. He has to basically build a bullpen, probably get a starter, and another bat. And I just don't know that that's going to happen. Right now, the way the Mets are playing, a lot of flaws are being exposed. And, maybe we just overrated this team. I don't know. They did beat up on a lot of bad teams early in the season. And maybe they're just not as good as we thought. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we look back in 2 weeks and say, oh, remember that was a terrible time after they just won 7 or 8 in a row, right? That would be great, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's no heart. Guys it doesn't seem like they even care. And even that little rally they had in the 9th inning, you just knew it wasn't going to be anything. I almost turned that game off because we've seen this so many times this season. Not just this season, but in the past. The end of, the second half of last year and the first couple months of this year are really the aberration with this core of players. And maybe we thought it was going to be different with Soto, adding to this team and maybe giving a little bit of, guts to this team. He hasn't. He's been great this month, but he doesn't always come through in big situations. Lindor up in the 9th inning after they're rallying, and he grounds it weakly to second base. I mean, there's just nothing to this team right now. They get down, and they stay down. They don't get back up and fight. The Braves, they're below 500, and they're fighting. Every at-bat is a grind. Every inning is a grind, and they make you beat them. Apparently only against the Mets, because then they lose 2 out of 3 to the Marlins. I don't know. They have something with the Mets. They know how to beat them. Braves aren't a good team, but they're a professional team. Their offense knows how to battle, and the Mets really don't. Pete Alonso's had terrible at-bats the last week or two. He has not looked good. He's swinging at pitches in the dirt. That wasn't the Pete Alonso we saw at the beginning of the season. We saw a new Pete, a guy who didn't chase and swung at pitches in the zone. And now he's swinging at balls in the dirt and 1.5 feet outside again, like he was last year. Lindor hasn't gotten really a meaningful hit in a couple weeks. Nobody below 4th in the order knows what a baseball is at this point. They're not good. And I don't know how it's going to get better. Anyway, like I said yesterday, in this same type of rant, baseball can turn on a dime. It's a long season. It's getting harder and harder to see that happening right now. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully this is just a bump in the road, but it doesn't seem like that to me. It seems like they're being exposed as not as good as we thought. But we'll find out soon enough. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe, give me a like, comment how this is making you feel. I know I can't even watch the game right now. It pisses me off to no end to even watch this team right now. It's not an enjoyable experience. But every day at 7 o'clock, I still turn the game on and hope that they, have hope that they're going to do well. And every day it's disappointing. So, until next time, let's go Mets.